Oh, well, hello there, you beautiful human, and welcome to your yoga practice. I am Andrea Dawn, and today we're going to do a practice all about strength and balance. So it's going to be a challenging practice, a challenging sequence, so that you can optimize your strength to improve the quality of your everyday life. So we're going to get started right away. There's no props that are needed, and we're going to start in an all fours even tabletop position. And from this all fours even tabletop position, we'll just start to circle out the hips. So we'll do a short warm up and then jump right in. Maybe you do a figure eight. And then we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. So tilt the tail up, drop the belly, lift through the heart and chest, and then point the tail down. Reach the chest bone down towards the pubic bone. Move with your breath. Link your breath and your movement. And then we'll come back to a neutral spine. Walk your hands into your knees. Come up to stand on your knees. And we'll just do some trunk twisters here. And then we'll side bend over towards the left. Circle the right arm forward and down. Side bend over towards the right. Circle the arm forward and down. Both arms up. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms up. Bring the held hands to the back of the head. Press the head down towards the chest and the head back up into the held hands. And then maybe shake the head like you're saying no. Good, then bring the hands up to high prayer. Prayed hands down through the heart, and we'll take a moment here to set an intention for the practice. So throughout the practice, when your mind's telling you it's too hard or that you have other things to do, you come back to this intention. Make your intention a simple statement, and then add a smile. And here we go, hands down. We'll start in our downward facing dog. So from your downward facing dog, just start with a few pedal outs of your feet. Maybe come onto the tops of the feet, stretch out the front of the foot and the ankles. And then we'll inhale to lift the right leg. Bend the knee, give yourself a few hip circles here, one direction. Think of the knee as the driver. And then the other direction. Make sure you're moving with your breath. Good, then step the right foot down to meet the left and then lift the left. Bend the knee. Try to keep the weight distributed evenly through the hands and the shoulders. And then other direction. Good, step left foot back to meet right. A good way to know the length of your downward facing dog is to roll forward into a high plank. Make sure the shoulders land over the wrists. So you might need to walk your feet back a little bit and then come back to your downward facing dog. And we'll start with an inhale to lift the right leg. And then as you come forward, come high up onto the left tiptoes, roll forward, step the right foot in between the palms. Step the left foot up behind and outside so the feet are crossed, pinky to pinky toe. Then push down through your big toe ball mounds and roll yourself all the way up to stand. Reach your hands up to high prayer. Point your tail slightly down. And then we'll rotate to the right. Now we're going to go into what would be like a revolved half moon. So the left leg would go back and the left arm will start to come down. So I'm going to give you kind of a couple options here depending on your ability and your balance. So you might bring the left hand down. It might come to a prop. You could start by bringing this left knee to the back of the right and just doing this right here. Or if you want to make it a little bit more challenging with the balance, you can bring the left knee into the right, and as you do, both arms are going to bend. You're going to bring the left arm like you're doing a bicep curl and the right hand behind the back. The left knee goes behind the right. Okay, so we've got another 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you're going to land the left hand down to the inside of the right foot. Hopefully your mat didn't blow away like mine. And we're going to land in a lunge twist. Okay? So from here, a strong scissoring action of the legs. And just steady out the breath. Now, the left arm is going to come all the way around as the right arm comes back and forward. So I'm going to bring the right arm back, forward, left arm circles around, and I'm in this modified side angle pose where my arms are framing out my head. I want to keep space in between the shoulders and the ears, deep bend in the right knee. So it's kind of like I'm holding a ball over my head. Good. And then we're just going to lift, keep the deep bend, and lower for 10. Think about your obliques doing the work. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift and pivot. Straighten the right leg, turn that foot in, turn the left foot towards the back of the mat. Now we're facing the back of the mat into a warrior 3. So you're going to keep the arms reaching forward and lift the right leg. Now, kind of like we're doing a deadlift, you're going to stand up and hover the right foot next to the left as you bring your arms to cactus arms. Then back to your warrior 3. So it's almost like you're a pendulum, keeping the legs nice and straight. Now, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, instead of just going to warrior 3, you can bring your hands all the way down. Okay, and we're going to do another 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time you'll land the ball mount of the right foot down, right knee down. Now we're in Anjaneyasana. And from here we're going to straighten the left leg, flow the arms back, and then into your high crescent lunge, straighten the left leg. And we'll continue and repeat that same movement. Down onto the knee, straighten, flow the arms back up, and then straighten the left leg. Now, if you want it to be a little bit more challenging, instead of dropping the right knee all the way down, you'll hover the right knee and then come back up. So that takes a little bit more strength and a little bit more flexibility. Another 3, 2, and 1. When you're back to your high crescent, stay there and then twist. Windmill the arms, warrior 2 front. So once you find your warrior 2, deep bend in the right knee, hips level, shoulders over hips, arms to a T. Now we're going to flex at the wrists and press the heels of the hands away from us. We're going to hold and keep that the whole time, and then just come onto the tiptoe of the right foot. So doing calf raises with the right leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hands behind the back, palms face away. Heel toe the left foot in. And now we're going to go into a modified triangle pose. So tilting the hips, pause, and we're just gonna come back to our natural breath. Keep a nice lift in the right side body, engage the right quad. Good. From here, bend into the right knee, extend the right arm out underneath the ear, heel toe this left foot in. We're gonna go into a flying warrior variation where we're moving in our flying warrior. So the first option is to lift into flying warrior. There's a deep bend in the right knee, and then land. And then you'll just move like that. Or you have the option to lift, bend the lifted leg, extend, and then land. One more option is to lift, bend, extend, instead of extending and setting this left foot down, you're gonna hover it and see if you can hover the left foot next to the right, come back into your flying warrior, and bend, okay? So don't worry if you're not moving at my pace. We're just doing it for this length of time. I'm gonna do another 5 repetitions. 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time land the back foot down, reverse your warrior. Inhale, exhale to windmill the arms down. Plant the hands, heel toe the right foot out towards the right. We're in lizard pose. All right, from our lizard pose, we're gonna step back into a plank pose. Okay, from our plank pose, we're just gonna work coming onto the forearms and then coming back up onto the palms. So we'll start with the right forearm, then left forearm, right palm, left palm, left forearm, right forearm, left palm, right palm. Back and forth like that. Keep your breath steady. Try to keep your hips as steady as possible. Next time you're up on the palms, stay up. Step the right foot back outside of the right hand. This time left foot outside of left hand, down to a low yogic squat. From our low yogic squat, we're gonna place the hands down and lift the hips and just lift and lower, lift and lower. So I'm gonna place the hands down, lift my hips, and then lower back down. And we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do 5 more real quick. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant the hands, step back, and go through your flow. If you're choosing to take one, remember you can always skip, take a child's pose. All right, in between sides here, we're gonna work a little bit of arm strength, shoulder strength. So we're gonna do downward facing dog push-ups. So what you're gonna do is walk your feet in so you have a short downward facing dog stance. And separate your hands, and we'll start with the hands wide, and then I'll give you another option. And just see about bringing your elbows out to the sides and the crown of your head down. And then pushing up. Now, if you get down here and get stuck and you're like, oh shit, just bring your knees down and press back up, okay? If that's not hard enough, bring your hands into a diamond shape. All right, and then we're gonna bring the crown of our head down from there. And we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Let's take a child's pose. Come back to your breath. Come back to the intention that you set. A strong body means you get to do all of the things, all of the activities I live here in Guatemala, and there's so many activities I think about that I wouldn't be able to do if my body wasn't strong and capable to walk up these steep hills or on these boat ramps and docks that are all crooked and jagged and stepping into boats. So it's really important that we strengthen our body. All right, here we go. Downward facing dog. And we're gonna come back to our lifts, our plank lifts. So we'll come forward, high plank. Come down onto the forearms. Now this time, instead of coming up onto the hands, which you can do, we're just gonna do some protraction and retraction of the shoulders. So it's just like letting the heart and chest sink down and then pressing back up. Modified scapular push-ups. Let's do another 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's walk it in dolphin pose. Now from our dolphin pose, we can press up into downward facing dog. You can do one arm, then the next, right? And you might practice that. One arm, then the next. And then try it on the other side. You can also see about coming from your dolphin pose right into your downward facing dog. Okay? Now from our downward facing dog, we're gonna repeat that sequence. Inhale to lift the left leg. Exhale to step the foot in between the palms. Step the right foot up behind and outside of the left. Roll it up to stand, reach your hands up high. Rotate to the left. So as I go forward, my right hand comes down, my right leg goes back. I might bring the right hand down and just curl the right leg in and extend and work here. Or if I have the balance, I'm gonna lift this right hand. And then I'm gonna bend the right hand like I'm doing a bicep curl, left hand behind the back, right knee behind the left. Okay, so we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and 1. Now the right hand lands to the inside of the left foot. The right foot steps back, lunge twist. Take a moment to steady out your breath. Now this left arm, the arm that's up, is gonna come down and forward as my right arm circles around. So I'm coming into a modified side angle pose with the arms overhead. I went from lunge twist to circling the arms. Deep bend in the left knee. Right now it's like we're holding that ball and we're gonna lower and lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time you're going to turn it all the way around to the back of the mat. And we're going into our warrior 3, right? So I'm going to go into my warrior 3 here. And then like a pendulum, kind of like a deadlift with the legs, you're going to stand and then hover left foot next to right. Arms come to cactus arms. If you want to make it a little more intense, the hands come all the way down. Use your butt and your hamstring to feel like you're dragging the left foot forward. We've got another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Now, the left leg is going to go back, drop the knee down, reach the arms up. We're in Anjaneyasana. From our Anjaneyasana, straighten the right leg, sweep the arms. Come back up to high crescent, straighten the right leg. Bend back into the knee, drop the left knee, straighten the right leg, sweep the arms. And remember, if you wanted to make it a little bit more intense, you won't lower the left knee all the way, and then you'll sweep from there. Let's do another 4. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Open it up to a high lunge twist. Inhale. Exhale takes you back to warrior 2 front. So in our warrior 2 front, flex at the wrist, press the heels of the hands away from you. Deep bend in the knee. And now we have our calf raises with the left foot. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Both hands behind the back. Straighten the legs. Heel toe the right foot in. Into our modified triangle pose. And we're just going to use this to get back to our breath, to even out before we go into our flying warrior variation. So for our flying warrior, this left arm extends, bend into the left knee, heel toe the right foot in. First option is to simply lower and lift in your flying warrior. Second option is to lift, bend the right knee, and then lower. Third option is after you bend the knee, instead of stepping the foot down, you're going to stand up without dropping that foot down, hover, and then back. So you never actually put the right foot down. Okay, we'll start our count from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ooh, this wind. Last one. This time you'll step the foot back, reverse the warrior. Windmill the arms down, and now you're in your lizard pose. All right, from our lizard pose, let's step the left foot back. We're in our plank position. So in our plank position, we're just going to do some mountain climbers where we bring the knees in towards the chest. So it might mean that you're moving at a walking pace. It might mean that you're moving at a jogging pace. It might mean that you're moving at a sprinting pace. Let's do that for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step the left foot outside of the left hand, right foot outside of right hand, squat. We'll take just a moment to return to the breath. And then we've got our lifts. So the hands come down and the butt lifts. Lower and lift. When your butt lifts, your head drops. When your butt lowers, your head lifts. Another 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. You guessed it. 5 more, real fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take a flow. And again, that flow might be a rest, a child's pose. But I'm going to offer one more round of those downward facing dog push-ups. So we'll come back to our downward facing dog. And again, the closer you walk in your feet, the more difficult this is going to be. The closer you bring your hands into the midline, the more difficult this is going to be. All right, here we go. We've got 10. Elbows go out to the sides. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop your head at a hover. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it up. Knees down, hips back, child's pose. Nice work. Whew. All right, let's come on up and we'll come to sit on our bum, swing the feet around, step the feet in front of you. Just a couple more little things. We're almost there. So we're gonna go into an upward facing table, but we're gonna work opposite limbs. So from our upward facing table, it's plenty to just hold. But if you wanna work opposite limbs, then you'll lift the left leg and the right arm and see if you can reach and tap. And it might be that you're not actually tapping, but you're just reaching. And we're moving side to side like that, trying to keep the hips lifted. Now, if you wanna make this even more intense, you can do a tricep dip. So when my right arm and left leg is lifted, I can bend the left elbow and then lift. So I wanna make sure that my right hand is firmly planted, or whatever hand that you're dipping, you're gripping through the finger pads, so it's not just all of the weight being compressed into your wrist crease. Let's just work here for another 10 seconds at whatever variation you're at. Something is always better than nothing. And I'm gonna end it with both feet down, both hands down, and just doing 10 quick tricep dips. Really squeeze at the top. Oh, nice work. From there, extend the legs, roll all the way down onto your back. Once you get down onto your back, reach your arms overhead, legs beneath, big inhale. Exhale to hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Good. Then set the feet down, cross right ankle over left so you're in a figure 4. Take your arms out to a T or cactus arms, and we'll windshield wiper that figure 4 from side to side. Next time you're back through center, pause, lift that into a figure 4 bridge. Where you might hold, it might be just more about relaxing, winding down, and stretching. Or you could extend this right leg and then lower and lift the right leg. For another 4, 3, 2, and 1, all the way back down, and we'll simply switch sides. Left ankle crosses over right. Start with your windshield wipers. A few of those from side to side. Back through center, and then we're going to go into our bridge lift, where you hold, Or extend this left leg. See if you can keep your hip points level the whole time. Really stamp down through the right foot. Engage the right glute. Use the right hamstring for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Bring it back down. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. So we're in a Supta Baddha Konasana, a reclined bound angle pose. One hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. Smooth out the breath. Maybe really feel a 3-part breath where you feel your belly, then your ribs and your lungs, and then your chest, and then back down again from chest to lungs to belly. And from there, you might stay or you might take yourself into a Shavasana. Nice work today. This is a great sequence to repeat a couple times a week. And if it was beneficial to you and you enjoyed it, please like, please subscribe, please tell your friends. It is always a blessing, honor, and privilege my heart sees and feels and smiles to yours. Namaste, yogis.